Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day today and that you're all doing fantastically well. Now today's video is a long awaited one, and that's because I promise I'm going to deliver a video like this about a month ago and I still hadn't. That's because I wanted to gather all of the information that I could before I pass them down to you. And the video we're talking about today is pretty much baby essentials, what we can't do without as a family, what helped us out when it comes to a newborn baby, especially considering the fact that we were first-time parents and we needed as much help as we could get. Let's just say that. We do have, and well, I do have Andromeda here. We do have the special guest today, and if you hear background noises, it's because someone's playing at her little gym. So excuse the noise, and if this is your first time here and you don't even know what I'm talking about, let me introduce myself. My name is Dora. This little one that you've just seen is Andromeda. She's my firstborn. She is 5 months now, and without further ado, let's go to those baby essentials. So you'll see in this video I came prepared, and I will try to be relatively short and sweet. And I'm saying relatively because if you watch previous videos you know that I do tend to, I'm Greek, we like talking, we like the sound of our own voices. But I did come as organised as I could. There is literally a list of all of the things that I want to show you, well, talk about with you guys, and there will also be a blog post that I'm going to link the link below in the description, where I'm going to put every little small detail, little part of information that I found on everything, and the reason why I preferably would go for these items, why we pick them, why we like them, why I'm suggesting them to you guys, why I consider them essentials now. If you like the shortened version, this video is going to be perfect for you, especially if you are preparing for a child to come, or even if you're just interested in seeing what other people are suggesting before you make yourself a buy. If a short video with a little bit of information is not enough, then you can click on that link and go straight to my blog and read all of the information on each individual item. They're going to be broken into categories, and mentioning that, let's go to the first category in this video, which will be sleeping. Now before I get into the chapter of sleeping and I start naming the products that we can't do without, I need to mention the fact that this is not an ad. This is a video that I decided to do with all of the products that we love and that we can't do without, and because I felt the need to endorse those products and to say how amazing they are, at least how amazing they are for us. But I've not been paid to endorse anyone. I've not been paid by any of these brands or any of these products. I'm just doing it because I want to let you know of what we liked and how I feel that these products have been now tested by a few months and they have proven to be worth. So we're going to go into the category of sleeping, like I've already said. And I want to start this category with the item that I feel is the most important when it comes to sleeping. Let me explain why. I believe the most important item when it comes to sleeping is a nest. The reason why I feel a nest will make a massive difference when it comes to the sleep of your baby, and I can tell you for a fact it made a massive difference on how Andromeda was sleeping after we bought our nest, is because in a nest they will feel secure and safe. It feels as if they are still being hugged by someone when you put them to sleep. There are many nests that you can find out there in the market. It starts with the most famous one, which is the Sleepyhead. But the thing is, Sleepyhead is usually around the £150 mark if you're buying it brand new, and I couldn't afford that. And even when we're talking about looking into second hand, they go around the £80 mark. There is a test that you need to be compliant to when it comes to breathability in order for the nest to be allowed to be sold, and that's where I was looking to get something, and I kept looking and looking, and I found Pure Flow. A Pure Flow is a nest very, very similar to Sleepyhead. The main differences between a Sleepyhead and a Pure Flow nest are basically two. The Pure Flow nest is the teardrop shape that Sleepyhead is as well, but it is longer and it doesn't release on the bottom. I don't believe that you're actually going to need it because, like I said, Pure Flow is actually longer in comparison with Sleepyhead. They are both the only two companies that I would recommend, but the reason why I'm talking about Pure Flow, it's a fraction of the price for a brand new product. So if you want to buy a brand new Pure Flow, you only pay £65, and if you find it second hand, you can find it like half price to that, so we're talking about £30. And also, if you are lucky and you find one of them from the season before and the colours have changed, then you can buy a brand new one for around £40, which I think is madness. That's what we did. The colour that we went for is the soft truffle, that's how they call it, and I believe it's actually sold out as it is right now, but that's the one that we went for when they had it on offer, and they were £35 to get. It has a breathable mesh where the baby actually lays on. It has air permeable sides, which is the most important thing when it comes to nests, because you will find so many other nests on Etsy and other places that you could easily buy because they look more cute and they look this and they look that, but they've not been tested. And if the baby turns and puts their face on one of those sides and you don't know that those sides are air permeable, then that baby can suffocate while they sleep. And that is the most important thing when it comes to nests. We bought our Pure Flow around the time when Andromeda was 1 month old, and her sleeping changed. It took her 2 nights to get settled, and after that she has been sleeping amazingly. At the minute that we hit the 3-month mark, she started sleeping throughout the night. She sleeps for 8 hours in there. It helped me be able to rest and to be able to be there for her, and she was rested and I was rested and everything was great. So I'm going to put all of the other information, because Pure Flow is also hypoallergenic, and I'll include all of that on the blog post that I've mentioned, so you can go and click on that link below to find out more information about it. But I want to go to the next item, and that next item in the list is basically a toy that will provide some form of light for the baby to sleep and also some form of white noise. There are a lot of them in the market. You can find them. There are branded ones that cost a small fortune to buy. There are non-branded ones. We bought ours from Lidl, of all places. We only paid £15 to get. It is a loopy-loo one, and I love that thing. It has 3 settings as to how bright the light will be and 3 settings as to how loud the volume will be. And after that, it has 1 lullaby and 3 white noise. So it has a heartbeat, which was invaluable for us because Andromeda would not sleep without the heartbeat on for the first month. And then after that, it has waves and a vacuum. And we've moved into the lullaby around the 3rd month when Andromeda started sleeping throughout the night, and we've not moved past that. She wants the light on and the lullaby playing in order for her to sleep. Now, what we do with the light, I always put it on the very low scale. It is soft light. It will stay there for 30 minutes on its own, and then it will turn off music and light and allow the baby to sleep. And it also has a sensor, so if she wakes up and she cries, the sensor will pick the cry up. It will turn on with the light on the last setting that you had it on, and it will turn on with the music as well. If you don't have a Lidl close, then there are other branded items that do similar things as to what ours does, and I'm going to try and link a couple of them below. I think one is Ollie the Owl and the other one is You and the Sheep. I'll link them down below as well. I would definitely recommend you try some form of white noise machine, any form of white noise, especially the heartbeat, if you haven't a newborn in the house and you're trying to get that baby to settle to fall asleep. Third item on that list, and it is one of the most important ones, at least for us, it was one of the most important ones, is the Grow Egg. I believe that if you are researching and you are preparing a baby room, then you've definitely stumbled upon it, you've definitely seen it somewhere else. and it is literally such a great idea. So you get this little thing that looks like an egg, and it has that soft night light that would provide that little hue in the room, which is fantastic, because if the baby wakes up and you want to change the baby, you don't have to turn the light on. That's enough for you to actually see. But also the color of the light changes depending on the temperature of the room. So it's not just a night light, the Grow Egg is actually a room thermometer as well. It has 4 different light settings, so when we are from anything below 16 degrees Celsius, then the light will be blue, just to notify you that the room is cold for a baby and you need to make adjustments, either to dress the baby warmer or to make sure that you have a nice sleeping bag for the baby, the hog that is required, especially if you're having a winter baby. That is great idea to have. And also for summer babies, anything between 16 to 20 degrees is the perfect temperature for a baby, so the light will be yellow. From 20 degrees to 24 degrees it will be orange, which means that again the room is getting a little bit warm, so you should probably ditch that extra, like the sleeper, and leave the baby on a vest, or ditch the blanket, do something anyway to adjust again. And anything from 24 and above, the light turns red, and it means that you need to make sure either to leave that room or make sure that you find a way to bring the temperature down so it is more comfortable for the baby to sleep. I can't live without a Grow Egg. I have it right next to the little travel cot that we have in our room as it is right now, and that will be moving in her bedroom after we are back from our holidays in Greece, because that's going to be roughly the time that she's going to be 6 months old, and we'll transition her slowly into her own bedroom. I would definitely recommend, if you are buying something for a baby and if you're looking to get a gift because you're going to a baby shower or something like that, that is one of the best items to actually buy to a new mum. If she hasn't bought it already, just double check. The last item I want to mention when it comes to sleeping is the baby monitor. We got a Motorola one, and there are so many out there that you can go and buy. We picked ours from Mothercare. It is the one that was released exclusively for Mothercare, and the reason why we went for that one in particular was because I had a voucher, and on top of that they had a sale, and I could kind of like pull 2 and 2 together and get a really good price on a monitor that had really good reviews. If you are a mum that suffers from anxiety when it comes to the baby sleeping, then I would heartily recommend you getting a monitor for when they sleep and you're still awake. I was put the fear of it's not the fear of God, but it's the fear of death basically in my head. I suffer from OCD, which is something that I can't really explain, but once you have a fear of death of something, it's literally like a recurring thing and you keep thinking about it all the time, which causes anxiety. And ever since they told me about SIDS, I have been in constant fear. So I'm one of them people that when she was put down to sleep, up to the point that I went to bed, I would literally have that monitor right there, right in front of me, pretty much all the time, making sure that she's okay, she's breathing, she's making noises and everything's fine. And then yeah, I'm the same person that will wake up 3 to 4 times in a night, not because the baby woke up and she's calling me, but because I need to wake up and make sure that she's okay. So if you are in a similar case, you have some form of anxiety, or if you're a first time mum and you're not sure and you would like to make sure that everything's okay, get a monitor. Just get a monitor. It will save you from being worried all the time. And you know what, later on, if the baby's a little bit older and you leave the baby in their cot and you're basically cleaning the house or whatever, you still have a monitor that you can carry around with you in the house while cleaning, and you can monitor if the child is fine while you're doing your your everyday cleaning. So yeah, go get one. Definitely go get one. I'm going to go into the second category now. The second category is feeding. I personally could not breastfeed. I have a condition. There's going to be a video on that which is going to be fully informative, not just to explain why I didn't breastfeed and how does that connect to the condition that I have. Let's just say that I have IGT, which is insufficient glandular tissue. That means that basically I can't produce adequate amounts of milk, and by adequate I don't mean that I can produce enough, I mean I can produce drops. So I couldn't basically breastfeed Andromeda. We tried it, there was nothing there, and we bottle fed her straight from the get-go. And the two things that I could not live without for the first few months, and I still use them every day because we're not past the 6-month mark yet, so they are there in our everyday lives, being used every single day multiple times, is our Tummy Tippy sterilizer and our Tummy Tippy prep machine. If you're comfortable, if you're a mum who had a child before and you are comfortable with making bottles, then you won't need a prep machine. I bought it because I was personally terrified as to, I had never prepared a bottle, I didn't know how to do things like that, and I didn't know how I'd be able to cope by having to wake up on cue, because that's what the midwives will tell you, that for the first months you'll have to feed the baby on cue when the baby asks for it. But in order to make a bottle, you need to prep the bottle and allow it about 30 minutes to cool off before you give it. So what do you have? You have a baby that woke up at 2 o'clock at night screaming for food, and you have to be like, calm down now, wait for your 30 minutes. No. No. So the main reason why I went and bought the prep machine was because of that, because you can have a bottle on perfect temperature in 2 minutes. And that's invaluable. I mean, it saved me, and it saved our sanity, both mine and Adam's. So we got the prep machine for that. It has a filter that has been certified to clean. Plus, it is again compliant to everything that the NHS says when it comes to the boiling water, killing bacteria, all of that. You have perfect temperature bottles at the end. It will give you 1 shot of really hot water at the beginning to kill any bacteria that may be in the formula, if there are any. So it kills all of the bacteria, and then once you put it back under the little spout again and you push the button again, it will give cool water to balance the temperature of the bottle. So by the end of it, you have the perfect temperature bottle. The smaller bottle it can make is 4 ounces, the bigger bottle it can make is 11. Wow, I love it. And with a sterilizer, you will need a sterilizer if you have bottles, if you are going to even do par feed, breastfeed and par formula, or even if you are one of them lucky mothers that have enough to actually use a pump and take some out and then store it and, you know, freeze it and feed your baby after, and give your partner a chance to actually bottle feed the baby with your own milk. Again, you will need bottles. And although mum's milk is always sterile on its own, if you freeze it and then you feed the baby, then you will have to sterilize the bottle. Sterilizer will be invaluable to have, and that's why we got it. I can't recommend them more than I am. I'll praise them all the time. And I want to go to the other item, the last item in the feeding category, and that will be a drain rack. I know it's not exactly feeding, but it is where we will put all of our bottles after we wash them and before we put them in the sterilizer. So you need to dry the bottles a little bit before they go into the sterilizer and they get sterilized. I found it through a YouTube mum, and I showed it to my mum because she was here before I gave birth. And she said, you will need something, you will need a draining board that will be just for your bottles anyway. You don't want to mix it with the rest of your washing, with your dishes and the rest of it, because obviously you will need 2 different sponges when you clean and everything like that. They can't touch, you can't cross-contaminate, it's all of that. And she said, why not get it? It seems a great idea. And we got it, and I've been loving it ever since. It's made by Boone, and I will link it down below. There are different sizes. You can choose the one that you like the most. I got the biggest one I found. It looks like grass, which I find hilarious. And the thing I like the most about it is because it is made the way that it is, you can press the bottles down to drain, and they kind of get stuck because of the grass leaves pointing up, and they stay there. Definitely not an essential for many people. You can just have a secondary drying rack. You don't have to spend on this, but it's not that expensive, and in my eyes it was definitely well worth it, because I'm a first-time mum right now, but we are hoping to have at least 2 more kids in the future, so I know it will be used again and again and again, so it made more sense to get that instead of like buying another rack or trying to find something that would fit our space. That's another reason why we picked it up, because the size of it was perfect for the limited space that I have in our counter in the kitchen. It was perfect. It doesn't take too much space, but it takes enough for us to put at least 5 bottles drying there with all of their accessories separate. So yeah, that's the main reason why I'm telling you guys why I considered it an essential. Okay, let's go into the category of changing, and I know that a lot of people will say, what is an essential with changing? Wipes? And basically a changing mat. Well, yeah, pretty much. But for us, what I can do without, my partner has said many times that he doesn't mind about not having a changing table that we have, that he could easily like change Andromeda anywhere in the house, on a sofa, on the floor. He's fine with that. But the reason why I am including it in our essentials and what I can't do with that is because that table is not just a changing table for her right now. We got the IKEA Stuva Folger changing table, and I love it. And I love it because it's not just a changing table. That table grows along with your child. So it's not just an amazing changing table for me. It has 4 drawers. It has spaces on the side for me to save things. It has a gap underneath the actual changing table area where I used to store all of our diapers. But also, when Andromeda is a little bit older and she will need a play table, we'll just drop that down. We'll lose that space where we store our diapers right now, but it will be a play table for her to draw, and then later on we'll just lift it back up to the table and put a chair there, and that will be her desk, which I think is brilliant, because that way you buy something that will live and grow along with your child. And if you have, like in my case, if you're planning on having more kids in the meantime, then you can keep it as a changing table, swap it into a play table when the time comes, and then buy a small play table for the child. That's great. That's brilliant. That's amazing. And that's the reason why I have it in here. It's not a necessity. It is a necessity for me. I found that invaluable because it saved my back as well. It didn't hurt. I could change Andromeda without having to worry, and I had everything around me set in their place, which helps with my OCD. And it made me feel more relaxed and more confident when it comes to changing. And now I do it like this with my eyes closed, and I don't even have to worry about it. And the second item that I have in this category, which a lot of people will probably laugh, but to us it is, at the beginning especially when it was still winter time, lifesaver. And that will be a wipe warmer. Yes, you've heard it right, a wipe warmer. If you've not heard of wipe warmers before, then it is a craze that started in America, and I don't think it has kind of like come over to the UK yet, because I don't believe that you can find a wipe warmer in any of the major baby retailers. So I had to buy mine from Amazon, which you're going to find the link of what we use down below. Why am I putting this here? Why do I consider this one of our essentials? Because Andromeda was a winter baby, and when we were using a wet wipe to clean her, she would cry bloody murder every single time that wipe touched her skin, because the wipes were cold, because it was winter time. And we've tried the whole warm water and cotton buds that a lot of people said, you don't need the wipe warmer, what is this fancy thing that you want to spend your money on? We tried that. No. When she had a poo and I was trying to use that cotton bud, no, it didn't work for us at all. And I spent £20 and I bought one. The company that I'm going to be linking down below is Dragon, but it says something different on the actual wipe warmer. And what I want to say about it is that it's non-slip, it's stable. So whenever we put anything in and I need to pull a wipe, I can pull one wipe. The great thing about it is that it heats up the 4 to 5 wipes that are on the top, so they remain nice and moist, and the rest of them remain wet. So it's not something that will dry them out, because like it will dry up the whole pack. It will not. It will definitely warm the top ones that you're probably going to need, 4 to 5 for a poo change, and then you'll just push it down, close the cap, and that's it. And you need 20 minutes roughly before the next 4 to 5 wipes are again ready and warm and everything's fine. The only minus to this is that it comes with an American plug, but that's very easy to just get one of those adapters and you're going to be absolutely fine. And like I said, more details and more information about it will be in that blog post, so go and hit that link and you'll be able to find out more if you want, along with the links and everything about it. I want to go into the bathing category. We are very close now to the end of this video, and I know it's going to be a long one, so I'm really sorry about this, guys. And into the bathing category, I have only one item. I don't have too many, there's only one, but that one to us literally changed the way Andromeda reacted when it comes to bathing. And the product I'm talking about is the Snuggle, if I'm saying it right, Snuggle bath. Oh my good lord. We put Andromeda in. I didn't have to warm the backrest. It has a foam backrest that, because it's foam, it's not cold. So I put her in, she didn't cry, and it has a bump to provide stability. So I literally sat her and she wasn't slipping, which meant that I had both hands free to bathe her. On top of all of that, it's basically suitable from birth, and it made such a difference to us. Andromeda now enjoys having a bath. She can sit up on her own and she gives me big smiles and she's so happy, and she has been ever since we got that bath. So to us, that is something that we can't do without, and we will be using it definitely in the future. I went and gave away the other items that I had bought. We're staying with Snuggle Bath, and I would heartily recommend to anyone. The one thing that I personally love about it as well is that it's so small. It doesn't take a lot of space and you can store it anywhere. And I don't know, it's magic. It's just magic. And that's why I'm endorsing it so much, and that's why I wanted to mention it. And we're going to go into the last category, which is entertainment. And within that, I have 3 items that I want to share with you guys. And in this case, I am going to go relatively quick on them because I know that you're probably bored already with this video. And I'm going to start with a gym that we bought for Andromeda. So you know when I turned the camera over to show you that she was laying right next to me and that she was making noises, she was actually laying on that gym. That's a Fisher-Price, let me see the full name, Fisher-Price Deluxe Kick and Play Piano Gym. It is another item that's similar to the IKEA table that we got. It grows with your child. So they have smart stages technology, which is 4 ways to play. They can lay, then there are other things that you can stimulate them when they turn, and you can have them laying on their tummy to play. Then they also have a sit version of it where the little piano turns and sits properly flat so they can sit in front of it and play. And then it's also to go. Well, you can remove it completely and they can just grab the piano and go when they're a little bit older. So again, it's something that grows with the child. The child gets a lot of activity and developing their sensory and their gross motor skills along with their curiosity, and it also provides early academics because it has different stages where the kid can learn things as they grow with it. And it is such a great idea. They do have more than just this one. Like I said, is the deluxe version, so it has 5 piano keys. I believe the one right before that, which you may find cheaper actually because it's an earlier model, only had 3 keys, but it does have all of the extras with the sensory and all of the extra activities. So it's up to you if you want to take a look at it and see what I'm talking about. And like I said, again, there will be a blog post, so there's going to be pictures, there's going to be a lot of information on that blog post. So just go down in that link, click on that link, go to the blog post, you'll get every information I can provide there. And if you want to take a look on the item, there's also going to be a link down below in the description for you to click and find it and see if you fancy it and if you would like to get it. The other item I want to talk about is the mobile that we got for Andromeda. So at the beginning we had, before she was even born actually, I had bought one of those very traditional mobiles that you have to wind it in the back and it makes music, and we had hung beautiful little handmade dollies and all of that. She couldn't care less. She was not interested in that thing. She wanted something that was bright colours and that somehow got her attention. So I went online and researched and looked for products that could do with what we were looking for. And I had a personal problem because most of the mobiles that I found actually had a very traditional way of attaching it to a cot, but the cot that we were using in our bedroom for the first 6 months before we moved Andromeda to her room is a travel cot. So the sides and the top are way thicker than a wooden cot that is slightly thinner, and the way that most of those mobiles attach is not a universal form of clip. So we couldn't buy a lot of them. Even if they were magnificent and brilliant and all of that, they didn't have a universal clip that would allow us to attach it to the travel cot so we can still give something to Andromeda to be interested with. So I bumped by accident on this, and this is the Tiny Love Take Along mobile. It has 5 melodies, it has a universal clip attachment, and the toys are spinning right above the baby's head, which I personally love because the toys are full of colours, but as they hang, what you see right behind the toys is black and white pattern, and black and white stimulates the baby while they grow. It's one of the very first things that they understand. And also, on top of that, it plays for 30 minutes non-stop and it will keep the baby occupied. Andromeda loves it, but what we like the most is that that little mobile has an attachment that you can put on the hood of the bassinet, and then you can hang the mobile on that, and we can still have it while we're out and about with Andromeda in the bassinet while she was 2 months old, and that would spin and play music for her, and she would be happy to be entertained by that. She wouldn't cry, she wouldn't care. She had no care in the world for what was happening around her because she had what we call her little birdies. There's one little bird, to be honest, but she is fascinated with them. But if you're looking for a mobile, don't bother with the hand-winded ones. Just don't. Battery operated. Perfect. And the very last thing when it comes to entertainer is a bouncer seat. We hadn't bought a bouncer seat for quite a long time, if I'm honest, because I had bought a swing secondhand, which we used for quite a long time, and Andromeda really liked it, but I can't say that she was in love with it. Then we visited a friend of mine who actually is due to give birth, and by the time that this video comes out, she may have actually had her boy, so I'm so excited to meet him. But anyway, we went to her house to visit her while she was still expecting, and she took out the little bouncer chair that she bought for her own boy. We assembled it there together, and we put Andromeda to sit there while we were having a coffee and a chat. And Andromeda loved it. Absolutely loved being in a bouncy seat because she kept moving her legs and she kept basically causing the seat to bounce, and that made her laugh and giggle, and she was so happy that after I saw her reaction, I filmed it, came back home, showed her dad, and I was like, we're getting a bouncer chair. We need to have a bouncer. And he agreed. So we started looking around, and during that time we checked, I think it's Hot UK Deals or Hot Deals UK, I can't remember exactly the site. We checked that and we found that in Argos they had the Kugel Sheep, let me see the name, Kugel Music and Sound Bouncer, which is the sheep one because there are quite a few in that range, for £19.99. It has a arch right above it with 2 sheep hanging, so that's something that definitely keeps Andromeda's attention, and it also plays music. It has 7 melodies on it, and it also has a vibration, 3 settings for vibration as well, so it is perfect when it comes to entertaining a little child. I would definitely say if you're considering something between a bouncer and a swing, the swing will be perfect if you want to put a baby somewhere to sleep during the day, to just nap for 30 minutes or something, because I don't think any baby will actually sit and sleep on a bouncer chair unless they exhaust themselves by bouncing and being so happy. You'll see the video how happy Andromeda is when she's on that little chair, and it is, to us it was invaluable, and she still uses it, although it says that most of the times bouncer chairs will become obsolete after the 6th month. I think we're going to be using it up until the end of the summer before she becomes too big for it. And that would be the last of the items that we can't do without, and the last of the items that I would definitely recommend to any one of you, especially if you are looking to buy, if you're preparing for a baby, even if it's not your first, even if you're just trying to get ideas because you tried something in the previous baby and it didn't work and you would like to give a try to something new, or you had something and it's broken and you're looking to replace it. These are all the items and all the products that I would heartily recommend, and I would definitely say go and look for them. I will provide all of the links, I will provide everything, but before I close this video I want to mention like the honorable mentions, and they will be dummy clips. Second one that will be an honorable mention will be a bath thermometer, because like I've explained on my Thread and Flow review for the Tesco products Thread and Flow, I can't fathom with elbow in water if the water is correct, so I needed a bath thermometer, and you can find one in there that is so budget friendly. You don't have to spend a fortune to get one. But yeah, another honourable mention. And the last one would again be the swing that I mentioned. So we got a Kindercraft swing, which personally I love, and Andromeda used it for quite a long time, and I can't say that she was in love with it as much as I was. I was in love with it because I would put it down and then moments later she would be asleep. So I can only guess that she loved it as well, because otherwise she wouldn't settle as easily and sleep. And that would be all. That would be all of the items that I wanted to mention in this. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I provided enough information and that I gave you a good idea of why we picked them and why I think they're invaluable. And I'm going to say it again. I know it's like a broken record. I've said it so many times. More information and details about all of the products will be on that blog post. You'll find the link down below. Click it, go, read, and get all of the information that I managed to find and provide to you guys. And I want to say that I really hope you enjoyed it and that you got what you expected, for those of you who were expecting this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and please, if you are new and you liked what I did in this video, you like the items that I have suggested to you, and you think that this video would probably even help someone who's preparing for a baby, then please do hit the subscribe button. It's a subscribe button somewhere down there below. It will be red if you've not subscribed. And then if you click it and turn it into grey, you'll join this growing family. And if you click that little notification bell right next to it, that means you will be notified whenever I post the new video. I try my hardest, because obviously having a 5-month-old baby is not easy, but I try my hardest to post every Monday and every Thursday at 7 o'clock UK time, and I hope to see you on the next video. I really do. Toodles!